And let's go ahead and come to nice, comfortable seats. And let's sit forward in the chair a little bit today. If you would like to, if you have some props with you, if you wanted to take a block between your feet and maybe one between your thighs, you can do that. And you can kind of play with the width that feels right. You're also welcome if you want a little support from the strap. If you have one of those, you could take that around your thighs as well. Just demo that. So sometimes this is nice. It just gives us a little more structure and feedback, which can feel good sometimes. And of course, it's completely unnecessary. So you kind of figure out what feels good to you today. So we are looking for our legs to be about hips distance apart. Knees land over the ankles. All right. And then let's just rock side to side a little bit and just notice how the weight goes into one sit bone then the other. Good. And then make that smaller and smaller until you find that place where you're pressing evenly into both sit bones. And then let's just go forward and back. So you're rocking to the front of the sit bones and then the back. So that same thing, just observing that play of weight as it shifts. Then again, just start to refine that movement, make it a little smaller until you find that center place. And you're going to land with your shoulders over your hips. You're rooting into those sit bones and you're just rooting down into your feet or visualizing that. So you feel really grounded here. And then just notice if that idea of rootedness helps you to get a little taller. It helps you to find length through the sides of your waist. And let's go ahead and just roll the shoulders back a few times. That always feels good before we sit quietly. Let's roll forward. Good. And then rolling back again. And then shoulder blades release down your back. Hands gently rest on your thighs. Allow your eyelids to close. Deep inhale through your nose. Let the breath go. Ha. Do that a few more times just at your pace. And then start to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. You are always welcome to do Ujjayi breath, so constricting the sides of your throat. So a little more heated quality to the breath when we move into our Ujjayi. Right away as you start breathing, notice if a little tension creeps into the shoulders, if they start to move up towards the ears. Just allow them to soften down. And you're trying to even out your breath here, and it can take several moments for that to happen sometimes. It can be helpful to count the breath, so inhaling to 5 or 6 or 7, and then exhaling to that same number. So we're trying to find this equanimity between the inhale and the exhale. That has this nice calming quality. So we're also using the breath to help us find that sense of groundedness. So on the exhale, really visualize kind of that downward energy and rooting into sit bones, rooting into feet. But then on your inhale, you're finding that expansiveness, that lift, that lengthening. So it's like the breath is helping to stretch us in opposite directions. Your attention will wander from time to time. You'll get distracted by sounds happening in the room around you, especially get distracted by thoughts coming in and out of the mind. So all of these things are never going away. That's okay. But as we come onto our yoga mats, we try to refine our attention. We use the breath as the primary tool to help us find that. So you just keep reminding yourself to come back to your breath. Some days this is easier, some days it's a little trickier. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's so much value in the art of practice. Showing up and making effort. So we're going to be here just a couple more moments. Soak up this stillness, soak up this quiet. Good. So go ahead and gently blink your eyes open. As you inhale, take your arms out and up. And then as we exhale, hands come to heart center. We're just going to do that a few times, just opening up the shoulder girdle, expanding the breath. Inhale. And exhale, hands to heart center. You still feel those shoulders balanced over your hips, rooting into your sit bones. Maybe begin to look up if that feels okay in the neck. So there's a little sense of back bend in the upper body. Couple more of these. Beautiful work. Let's do one more. And then from here, you can just bring your hands to your thighs. We're going to just move into some simple cat-cow. If you do have, if you're using the blocks, if you want to get rid of them at this point, you can. If you want to hold on to them, that's fine as well. I'm going to keep them here. But we're going to inhale. Again, we're rocking forward on those sit bones, but we're finding more exaggeration in the back bend. As we exhale, we find the forward fold. So rounding in, chin towards chest. Inhale, find that arch, elbow squeeze in. We're finding cobra pose in the upper body. Exhale, round in. Beautiful work. And you can go ahead and close your eyes again here if that feels good. So sometimes that's just nice. It helps us to get inside the body, helps us to sometimes observe the sensations a little more that we're feeling physically. And as we do several more rounds of this, maybe you start to find like the smallest amount of opening, a little more ease. Good. So let's do a couple more rounds here, and then we're gonna just segue into our soupy rolls here. So as you're ready, you can start rocking around. in that pelvic girdle. And let's start like with really big circles today. So kind of exaggerating. And you might be getting a little sense of that, the shifting of weight, sit bone to sit bone, especially with these bigger circles. So let's start to make it a little smaller. So as that happens, perhaps it feels like you're pressing more evenly into both sit bones. And then let's start to switch directions. Let's keep it small. And then just gradually moving towards making those circles a little bigger. You might be feeling some nice stretch here, like lower back, outer hip area. Nice work. Okay, so let's just continue in this direction, but make it a little smaller again. So feeling both sit bones pressing a little more evenly. And then you find your nice tall mountain pose. So find that place of center. So you feel really grounded, but you also feel really tall sitting here. Let's release our arms by our sides and then just start to find a little lateral stretch. So leaning to the right, exhale, release down, and then inhale, right arm up and over. Good. Exhale, release. Inhaling left, lean to the right, and exhale down. We're going to continue like this. Again, you're always welcome to close your eyes. If they're open, you're just keeping your gaze soft and gentle. And you're really just finding a pace that feels good in your body today. Sometimes it's nicer to move a little quicker, especially if you're feeling a little lethargic. If the to-do list is long, if the day ahead is rather challenging, maybe you're stretching the breath out, slowing things down, just inviting a little calmness into your body, into your brain. Nice work. Let's do a couple more to each side. If you're still playing with that block between thighs, you might be squeezing in gently. Conversely, if you've got that strap on, you might be pressing out. All right, so let's say the next time you're leaning to the right, left arm is up and over. Let's just hang out there. See if you can shrug both shoulder blades down your back. So you feel them releasing down, squeezing in towards each other. And then maybe you start to bring your gaze up under that top arm. We haven't done a lot of neck work yet, so that might not be happening. That's fine. There's a gentle, gentle twist here. You're rolling those right ribs up towards the ceiling. Beautiful work. Good. Deep inhale. Exhale, release that left arm, and then we go to the right. Inhaling that right arm up and over. And again, just shrug those shoulders down. Feel the shoulder blades release towards your sit bones and gently squeeze in towards each other. Find a little anchoring in that right sit bone. It is going to be lighter than the left one here. We want a little weight there. That might mean that you come out of this side bend a little bit. And maybe you move towards looking up underneath that top arm, assuming it feels okay in your neck. And then you're feeling this gentle twisting of left ribs up towards the ceiling. These look lovely. Deep inhale and exhale. We just release. So let's just get into the shoulders a little more. We're going to bend our elbows so you can just rest your fingertips on your shoulder heads. And then let's just start with some small circles rolling forward. Might get all kinds of clicks and cracks. And of course, if for whatever reason this doesn't feel good, you can just come back to shoulder rolls. Let's start to make these circles a little bigger. So you're kind of exaggerating. You might even, as you're coming forward, move towards bringing those elbows to touch. Hello, Amy Hillman. And you might start to feel a little heat in those shoulders. All right, so let's start to move back and just notice that full range of motion that happens as you move in all of these different directions. You start to make these circles a little smaller. All right, so just come to elbows perpendicular to your shoulders. Stretch the arms out. I'm definitely feeling a burn as we exhale. Just go ahead and release your hands down and let's bring them to our thighs. And then from here, just dip your chin towards your chest. Continue to sit tall. So as you press into your feet, into your sit bones, you're getting that lengthening through the sides of your waist. Imagine somebody's gently pressing on your shoulders. So they love to creep up towards the ears here, especially if the back of the neck is feeling tight. Such a little movement, but it can be really intense this first one of the day. Let's inhale, lift the chin parallel to the floor, and then exhale. Start to lean that right ear towards that right shoulder. You're going to feel a nice stretch on this left side. Might even be feeling something on the right side. So you're noticing what's going on in your body. This is a big piece of our yoga practice. It really helps us to fine tune our attention. Helps us to isolate the sensations that we're getting, to make little modifications, little changes. Observe if you've started to hold your breath here. Keep it moving. And then let's just tuck the chin here. So you kind of feel off at that angle and notice where it shifts the stretch that you're getting on that left side. It might get quite intense. You always back off a little bit if you need to. We're always making little adjustments. There's this fine line between lots of sensation and then that place of sometimes when it feels like too much. It's always okay to do less. All right, so go ahead and just lift the chin back up. Inhale, come to center. And then exhale, gently nod that left ear towards your left shoulder. Release that left shoulder down if it started to creep up. And then bring your attention to this right side of your neck. What's going on? How does this side of your body feel? How is it different than the left? All right, and then again, we're just going to tuck the chin here a little bit. So not a big movement, but it definitely intensifies shifts where we're getting the stretch, the sensation. You're inhaling through your nose here, you're exhaling through your nose. You might be visualizing that exhale going to the places that are particularly tight in your body, in your neck area. All right, start to lift the chin. Inhale to center. And then exhale, we come down the center again. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. Just imagine that both shoulders are being pressed down. So a little weight, a little gravity helps you to release those shoulder blades towards your sit bones. How is this feeling different being here the second time? And then let's keep the chin tucked, but let's do that little quarter turn and take several breaths to bring that right ear towards your right shoulder. You might get to some really interesting places. Feel free to hang out there for a moment. And just check in with your shoulders. I can feel mine wanting to help out a lot here. If you'd like to intensify things a little, perhaps release your left fingertips towards the floor. And if you'd like a little more, perhaps take your right hand to the top of your head. Just apply a little gentle pressure. If you go there and it feels like too much, you skip it. Just go back to where you were. Breath smooth and steady. Good. Release. Right hand down, and let's bring hands to the thighs. And then it's just nice and slow, couple breaths to come back to center. And then take several rounds of breath here. So regrouping, pressing into your sit bones, feeling that ever growing space in the back of your neck. Hopefully, it's starting to feel a little easier. Even if that's really subtle. And then we start to make our way to that left side. So again, there's no rush. You're really taking your time. You're pausing in the places where you're getting an interesting stretch, where you're feeling some sensation. It's just allowing the muscles in your neck, especially that right side right now, ample opportunity to release, to lengthen, to open up a little bit. We eventually have that left ear releasing towards our left shoulder. Release that left shoulder blade down your back. Bring your attention to this right side of your neck. How is it feeling? And again, maybe you just gently release your right fingertips towards the floor. Maybe you take your left hand to the top of your head and apply a little bit of pressure. This side could be different, so it's absolutely fine if your poses don't look exactly the same side to side. All right, let's release the hand back down. And then you can bring both hands to thighs. And then we just take a few breaths to do that quarter turn back to the midline. Check in with your shoulders, make sure they're not creeping up towards your ears. And then just go ahead and inhale, lift your chin parallel to the floor. And then if it feels okay, start to lift your chin. So releasing your head back any amount. And let's just do that a few times. Good. So exhale, drop forward. Inhale, come back as far as feels comfortable, doable in your body today. And then I just encourage you to do a few more complete cycles with your breath. You can move it a little faster if that feels better. You can keep it nice and slow if you're liking how that's feeling. Good. When you've done a few rounds, just come back to your nice tall seat, your mountain pose, and then just observe. Perhaps there's a little more ease in the neck and shoulders. Might even feel like you're sitting a little taller here. So let's go ahead. If you're using the strap and the blocks, let's go ahead and just remove those for right now. So you can just set them off to the side. You can keep them handy. We will eventually move into some sun salutes. Locks can be really nice for your hands as you come into your forward fold. But let's go ahead and find a little hip opening here. So let's play with some externally rotated poses. So we're going to come into our right side first. So we're going to find our warrior two. So you're going to just open up this right leg any amount. It might be the tiniest amount. If your hips are a little more open, if it's available, accessible in your body, you can go a little further. We are looking for that right knee to be over our right ankle. And then in regards to this left leg, you could keep it exactly as it is, so knee bent. You might play with extending the leg to straight, so it's pretty neutral. If you want to come into the more classic version of the pose, you're also welcome to open up that left leg any amount. And again, that's just going to be dictated by what feels good in your body. We're all built a little different. If you are taking this left leg a little wider, do roll to the inner edge of that left foot. So you're pressing to the mound of the big toe, the inner heel area. And then you can use your zoom camera here. So notice if you've started to hinge forward already. We'll go there eventually. But right now, we want to still have those shoulders over our hip bones. So our torso is nice and long. We're going to inhale, take the arms out wide and really firm muscle to bone here. Feel those shoulder blades releasing down your back. And then keep your torso exactly like this, but just start to bring your gaze out over your right fingertips. You're just looking out over your fingertips. You could even close your eyes here if that feels good. And then just imagine that you have a yoga assistant in your room and then gently pressing this right thigh back behind you. You might start to feel a little more hip opening there. And you're keeping that breath smooth and steady. You take breaks whenever you need to with the arms. It's hard to hold them up like this. Let's flip our right palm up towards the ceiling. We're going to find a little side stretch here. So as you inhale, start to lean to the left. So we're getting all of this length through the right side. You're reaching that left arm up and over. You can just let your left fingertips dangle down. You can have them on your thigh, wherever feels good. You might even find a little half wrap. And that's nice because then you can use the leverage of your hand against your back to press that left shoulder head back. Maybe gaze up underneath your top arm. So this is our reverse warrior. Are you breathing? Make sure that breath is moving. Good. Let's inhale. Find our Virabhadrasana 2. And then exhale. Go ahead and hinge at this right hip crease. Stretch out. And then go ahead and just bring your forearm to that right thigh. And let's just start with shoulder blades stacking on top of each other here first. And then we'll go ahead and come into the full expression of the pose. Good. We're trying to find a little more length through this right side, but we're definitely like side bending there. So see what space you can create, and then maybe find that sense of twisting. So right ribs rolling up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to just take that top arm up and over. So you have this nice long line of energy through that left side. You might be able to find a little more twist here with this variation. Even here, can you release both shoulders out of your ears? So they release down. A little harder to find in this configuration. So this is our Utthita Parsvakonasana extended side angle pose. All right, so we're gonna inhale. You use a little core here, back into our Virabhadrasana 2. Let's release the arms down. We're gonna keep the legs here for a few breaths. Go ahead and give the shoulders a little roll out. And then let's go ahead and inhale, stretch the arms out wide. I'm just going to give into the shoulders a little more. So give yourself a hug. You are going to take your right arm underneath. So you can hold the outer edges of your shoulders. Start to lift your elbows up a little bit. And then you might stay here. You might bring the backs of your hands to press. You might press palms together. Whatever variation you're doing, see if you can lift elbows and then maybe draw forearms forward, so towards your camera. And just notice where you're getting this stretch in the backs of your shoulders. It can be quite intense. Be started to hold your breath. So a couple more breaths here like this, and then we're just gonna go through those poses again, but we're gonna find a little flow. All right, so let's go ahead and inhale, stretch the arms out wide. Exhale, just gaze out over your right fingertips. Inhale, we find our reverse. Good. Exhale, we come back into our warrior 2. We take an inhale here. And then exhale, find your extended side angle pose. Take that top arm up and over. Beautiful work. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, just bring your gaze out over your front fingers. Inhale, flip that right palm, side bend, reverse warrior. Inhale into Virabhadrasana 2, and exhale, you can gaze out over your right fingertips. Good, and then so we exhale, we extend forward, take that top arm up and over. Good. Let's do one more full round. Inhaling Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, gaze over fingertips. Inhale, flip that right palm. Find this side bend. Good. On your inhale, come up to center. And then exhale. Find the extension. Good. Inhale, up to center. Beautiful work. As you exhale, just release your arms down. Let's go ahead and bring this left leg back in if it was extended. And then we're just going to be here a little bit longer. Maybe have your blocks. We'll take a forward fold. So you can keep right leg like this. If you would like to cross your right ankle above your left knee, so coming into a pigeon stretch, you can also do that variation. So you can take your right hand, just use the strength of your arm to press down a little bit. Conversely, if you're still here, you can actually use your right hand to help you press back. So in addition to feeling this hip stretch, you might be getting a little more stretch on the inseam of the leg. Breath smooth and steady. All right, so if this is an intense stretch for you, if you're getting a lot of sensation, just continue to be here. It's a great place to be. If you would like to play with folding forward, and you can do that in either of these poses, you can play with that variation here. If you've got your right ankle crossed over your left shin, you could just rest hands on that shin, or you could do blocks. You could even play a little bit with hooking those right toes around that left upper arm. So a little balance pose, prep, nice deep hip stretch. And you're going to notice that things kind of intensify this outer right hip. You're going to feel that glute hamstring attachment perhaps. Send your exhale to those places. Just visualize it creating a little room, a little space, a little ease. Really nice work. Let's inhale. Come on up. And then let's just do a little twist here. So inhale, arms reach out wide. And then exhale, twist to the left. And then just go ahead and release hands down. So you can press to the outer edge of your foot, your thigh. Your right hand might be just on your shin. And if you're like this, it could be a lot of different places too. So you're really paying attention to your body. For some of us, twisting can feel really congested, really challenging. So you just go less far. You might be moving towards bringing your gaze out over your left shoulder. Good. Nice deep inhale. As you exhale, you unwind. And we come back to center and we take that little sequence, not so little, that was actually a lot of things strung together. We're going to see if I can remember all of it and move into our left side. So again, we're going to find this hip opening. So setting up our warrior two pose. So you might just be here like this. Check to see that left knee is over your left ankle. This side might feel different. Stay here like this. If you want to extend that right leg straight, you're welcome to do so. If you want to find a little opening, you can reach that right leg off to the side. Again, just make sure that you're rolling to the inner edge of that foot. And then find both sit bones here. Get these blocks out of the way. So you're sitting nice and even. Your torso is square to your camera. We're going to inhale, stretch the arms out. And again, just really from muscle to bone. So activate the arms, the muscles in the arms. And it feels counterintuitive, but it does help help the process a little bit. It makes it a little easier to keep them extended. You take breaks whenever you need to. Exhale, just bring your gaze out over your left fingertips. We hold this pose for several rounds of breath. Really strong, beautiful pose. We're getting this nice hip opening. And again, you could just imagine that somebody is gently pressing that inner left thigh back behind you. We move into our reverse warrior. So flip that left palm up. As you inhale, you lean off to the right. So we've been here before, just not with the legs in this configuration. Notice how this variation with the legs shifts where you're feeling things. And again, lots of different options here with this right hand. It can be resting on your thigh, fingertips just can be releasing towards the floor. Maybe you bend the elbow, press the back of your hand into your back, and then you get a little leverage there so you can press your right shoulder back, and that can feel really nice in the shoulder, neck area. You might even be getting a little stretch on the outseam of the arm. These look terrific. Perhaps you're gazing up underneath that top arm. Great work, everyone. We inhale, come back to our Virabhadrasana 2. Keep the lower body exactly as it is, but as we exhale, we hinge at this left hip crease. We reach, and then forearm to thigh. And just a couple of breaths here. So shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. We're trying to shrug both shoulders down. And then spin that right palm to the left. Reach that arm up and over. So feeling this long line of energy through the right side of your waist, Parsva Konasana, extended side angle pose. So pose in which we get lots of sensations. It can be quite challenging for many of us. A lot of good stuff happening. Okay, so think belly pulling in and up a little bit. As you inhale, you lift up. As we exhale, we release down. Let's just give the shoulders a little wiggle out and roll forward. Good work. Let's inhale, take the arms out wide again, and we're going to give ourselves that hug. So as you exhale, left arm underneath. So elbows stacked, you can hold on to the outer edges of your shoulders. Think tailbone releasing towards the earth, but then your elbows are lifting up towards the ceiling. You can stay here like this, maybe. Backs of the hands press, still lifting those elbows, maybe palms press. And then perhaps you start to draw your forearms forward even as your shoulder blades are releasing down. So great stretch across the back of the shoulders, even like the lower neck area, bottom of that cervical spine. Couple more breaths here. Okay, on your inhale, stretch the arms out. Exhale, bring your gaze out over your left fingertips. Inhale, we find our reverse. We take an exhale. Good. Inhale, back to center. Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, hinge forward. Forearm to thigh, right arm up and over. Nice work. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, sink in, gaze out over your left fingertips. Good. Inhale here. Take an exhale. Good. Inhale up to Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, find your side angle pose. Nice work. As you inhale, come on up. Take an exhale, feel grounded. One more round here. Inhale up and over. Take an exhale. Good. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, hinge forward. The top arm up and over. Nice. Inhale on up. All right, as we exhale, hands release down. And then we're going to do our forward fold here. So go ahead and bring that right leg in and stay with your legs like this if that feels good. And find that forward fold. Actually, I lied. Don't come into the forward fold just yet. So you're either pressing your left hand into that left thigh or you're taking your seated pigeon. So we'll just take a few breaths like this. I almost remembered the whole sequence. So if you do want to move deeper into a forward fold, you're welcome to do that. Not necessary. The forward fold absolutely intensifies things. So I'm definitely feeling more stretch in my left glute, left hip, hands on blocks is really nice. And if you wanted to hook those left toes around your upper right arm, you can play with that variation. You also might just be here. So all really great places. A few more rounds of breath in this forward fold. These look nice. All right, let's inhale. Roll on up, and we're going to find a twist here. So take an exhale, root into your sit bones, and then inhale, take the arms out wide. Exhale, you twist to the right. It need not be very deep at all. And then just find a place with your hands. It's going to look a little different for all of us. Kind of just depends on how twisting feels in your body, how twisting feels in your body today. Maybe you move towards bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. Good deep inhale. And as you exhale, unwind, come back to center. Good. So just finding your mountain pose. I think I did promise like 1 or 2 rounds of sun salute. So let's just go ahead and do a few of those. It'll be a little unusual today. We'll do these at the end. Hopefully, they will invite a little heat and sunshine into your life, even though it may not look that way outside. All right. So we're just going to do 3 of these, just flowing with the breath. So as you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, fold in. You can swan dive or take your hands to your thighs. Really release the back of the neck, chin towards chest, deep forward fold. Inhale, this is where hands can press to blocks or shins or thighs or to Uttanasana. Exhale, we fold back in. Inhale, reverse swan dive out. The buds are falling out. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. And you've got 2 more just on your own, moving with your breath. Let these feel really good. Find lots of space, a sense of gracefulness in your body, sense of ease. Eyes can be closed here. They might be open, gaze soft. and gentle. We're moving towards our Shavasana. So whatever that looks like, just an easy resting pose. You could simply be seated in mountain pose. That works. You could come into a child's pose if you have a table or a desk or a chair in front of you. So more of a forward fold, which can be really calming. You might come into a classic Shavasana laying down on the floor if that's something that's available to you. So more than anything, this is a state of mind. You're giving your body permission to relax, to release, giving your brain this opportunity to also relax and to start to assimilate, to put together all of the pieces of the things that we've worked on. We're also just building this transition. So we're moving from our yoga practice. We're shifting gears as we move towards the rest of the day. And before you start thinking about all of those things that you need to get done, just give yourself permission to enjoy these final few moments here in stillness. Asatoma satgamaya. Tamasoma joy tirgamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. We'll start to deepen your breath. Maybe sigh the breath out as you exhale. And then bring some gentle movement back to your body. So wiggling fingers, toes, stretching out. Anything that feels good here. And then you'll eventually land with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself love and gratitude. Send your body love and gratitude. Let's send each other love and gratitude. It's a gift to move like this, to practice together. And just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day and week ahead. Finally, just bow your head with a smile. Terrific work today, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you. Stay warm.